What is going on, everybody? We are your two fantasy friends this week. My name is Erik. Follow me at Fantasy Barbecue on Twitter. The big man over there is Jason. Follow him at Big Chill Squad on Twitter. Jason, are you okay?
I,
We
I'm
got some
living.
heavy stuff.
I'm living strong in a way. Um, I want to believe that Derrick Henry will be back in the playoffs, which I want to believe will maintain a direct path to. And I'm very excited because one of my favorite players of all time is about to don a Titans uniform. So that's like the ultimate jersey right there. I've got to go immediately go get. I don't know, man. Like, we were all down. We were all super bummed. And then they were like, but it's okay. We're going to call literal Superman. And it's like, all right, if they could have done anything. And, I like the Deontay Foreman signing, too. I like that we didn't let draft day. We didn't succumb. Excuse me, not draft day, but the the end
Oh,
of the
trade
trade.
deadline?
Yeah, we didn't succumb to that. Like, we didn't let that be the glaringly obvious move and start losing draft picks and what have you.
Yeah, it's a problem. I mean, I think they're fine. I actually really like Jeremy McNichols, which we'll talk about here in
Yeah,
a second. But shoot,
yeah.
man, we're already talking about some Derrick Henry news. Let's get it. You talking good. This is our news, rumors, conjecture, anything that's going on topical around the NFL. We're going to be talking about that in this segment. So you heard us already talk about it. Derrick Henry, he's out pretty much for the fantasy season at least with a broken foot. I believe it's a Jones fracture in his foot. Jason already alluded to it. They signed Adrian Peterson. They brought in Deontay Foreman. I mean, I really like Jeremy McNichols. He had a prolific college career. He's a hell of a pass catching guy. He was actually a wide receiver in high school, Jason. The problem is he's a little on the slight side. I've seen him listed anywhere between 205 and 215. As a Titans fan, like you're obviously you get a hot, a better, a closer viewpoint of him, if you will. What can you say about this kid? Is he going to be somebody we should be picking up for fantasy, or at least have
Yeah,
our eyes on?
absolutely. I mean, he'll have an opportunity just to win the job outright. But I think what you're going to see eventually is you're going to see him on pass catching downs. So it's fair to say that Adrian Peterson will probably be in the mix, running the ball between the numbers. Everything else, anything exotic, anything out in space is going to be McNichols's territory. Um, and should anything happen to AP, Deontay Foreman's also kind of an injury-prone guy. So I really think McNichols is a strong fantasy ad right now, considering everything going on around him.
Yeah, I agree. I just like the whole idea that he can't really get game scripted out per se. Although I do think AP is probably going to be the primary goal line back. I think with the absence of Derrick Henry, you could see Ryan Tannehill run the ball more around the goal line, a la Josh Allen is, because he's actually
Yeah,
good at that. People forget, man, Ryan Tannehill's a big son of a gun. He's like what 6'5", 230, something like. Cause he's a big boy.
and he was a
So
wide receiver. He can move.
yeah, he did, and yeah, you can see that when he gets out in space, he's got some wiggle to him for sure. So Jeremy McNichols, would you prioritize him over Adrian Peterson as far as waiver wire ads go?
Yeah, in most of the leagues that I'm adding them 1 and 2, and I'm definitely putting that fab a
Yeah,
little bit higher on McNichols. So yeah,
gotcha.
absolutely.
And I think we're at that point in time in the year that you're probably not going to. I know that you and I, we play in a bunch of leagues together. Neither one of us have very much fab left, except maybe in our dynasty league because there's not a whole lot of action going on in that.
Yeah, we
But
haven't been able to move that at all.
yeah, not really. But in your regular redrafts, man, I would spend pretty much what you have left to get him. Honestly, Jeremy McNichols, that is, and then I'd be putting a secondary bid in for Adrian Peterson for just a little less. But like Jason had said, but make sure you at least save yourself like $1 just so you can try and play a little defense because hopefully you're all going to the playoffs.
Hopefully,
Hope, yeah, God, we can talk about. I want to talk about that real quick. In Jason and I's league, with our home league, our redraft league, I'm going in down by about 5.5 points into Monday Night Football. I'm like, hell yeah, I got Travis Kelsey left to play. I wipe my hands in this situation. It's going to be super easy, right? Nah, man. In our scoring format, he got me 1.7 points. It's been rough this year for Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey and even Patrick Mahomes managers because where you had to draft them, you know.
Yeah, watching that game last night was sad, man. I kept looking at Kelsey and going, you know, when I watch this game, it appears as though this man has one weapon, and that's Tyreek Hill. And I don't see much else going on. It seems like him and Kelsey can't connect at all. And what's the second receivers there? Mecole Hardman.
McCole Hardman.
Mecole, he'll get like two big plays a game, but like he literally only gets what he's given. And I don't know if that's Mahomes not wanting to spread the ball around. I don't know if that's just not consistency from Mecole and down. I don't know if Tyreek Hill's just the only guy giving him anything. I don't know. I really wish. I feel like I've seen the Chiefs play, but I think that you get so bewildered by Mahomes that you don't really watch the offense. You're just so captivated by what's this crazy guy going to do.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Peyton and Eli run last
I did.
night?
I watched some of it. I was kind of in and out watching it a little bit. But he was. I mean, I saw Travis Kelsey open on at least two different plays just on when I was watching the Manning cast, and he was being doubled both times, and he was still getting open. So I don't know. It seems to be a Patrick Mahomes issue, honestly. I mean, I heard a stat today. The Chiefs are turning the ball over on 25% of their plays, Jason.
Wow.
A quarter of the time they turn the ball over. That's insane, dude.
Do you think he's just gotten too loose?
So Tran has a good point down here that we'll talk about. I'll actually get to pick your brain on this. So two deep safeties have been Mahomes' kryptonite this season. I have seen that. Almost all teams are playing two deep safeties, taking away the big throw. I think you talked about it on last week's episode, if I remember correctly. He needs to start taking that stuff underneath. That's
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like the Drew Brees stuff that he was so good at the end of his career.
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at a second ago. Is like it seems to me that he feels like Tyreek Hill is his only target. I don't know why. It just when I watch him move the ball, that's where it's going to just time and time and time again. And then, like I said, Mecole will get that catch and do something amazing, and then you won't see him again for the rest of the game. And I don't know what's got Mahomes so discouraged. But yeah, when you bring the two high safeties and he's only looking at one guy, I don't.
That's a problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. So I don't know what's got him so discouraged. I don't know if the offensive line play, if he feels it's rocky, if he feels like he can't trust them. I'm not sure. I know he doesn't. I know he can't be, too pleased with the running game this season.
But I mean, he really hasn't needed a running game. The first 3 years of his career, essentially. So, or Kansas City hasn't really needed one.
Well, I disagree. The Super Bowl they won was one on the backs of an actual running record.
That's fair. Yeah. Who was it? Who was that? Was that Damian Williams?
That was Williams. Yeah.
Yeah. He was. He should have been the MVP of that game.
Yeah. He should have.
It's going. So it's a really long comment from Tran. I'll try and summarize it real quick. Basically, he's saying that his success was letting Hill get open, get into open space, letting him create after the catch. So they're taking away the big plays from him. To me, I would say why not go back to that? If they're going to leave the middle of the field open, why not try and scheme Tyreek up for some screens and some other stuff? I don't have any stats in front of me that say this is how many times they've thrown screens to Tyreek or, ran Travis Kelsey down the seam. But both players are entirely too talented and they're uncoverable. And let's just say that they have a double on both those guys. Mecole Hardman is open. Somebody's open. It's on Patrick Mahomes to get the ball, to stop playing favorites so much and be a little more agnostic with where he throws the ball.
I agree.
All right, let's get to our next one here. We kind of have just sad news almost for our news segment here, but Calvin Ridley stepping away from football indefinitely to take care of his mental health. I'll hit this one real quick, and then you can say whatever you want, Jason. Good luck to you, Mr. Ridley. Get better, because that shit's legit. Like, Mental health is very serious. It's something we don't talk about a lot, but you can't be your best physically if you're not your best mentally. So get whatever help you need. I definitely hope to see you back in the NFL because you're an incredibly talented player. I'm talking to him like he's going to listen to this shit. But,
Yeah,
but hey, man, but I would say this for fantasy managers. It sucks. It is what it is. Don't send the man freaking hateful notes or anything like that. Don't be an asshole. If you're
yeah,
16, okay, that's fine. But if you're 17 or older, don't be doing stupid shit like that.
yeah. I'd say the same thing. Don't be an asshole about it, but it does make you wonder how you could be so wealthy and not be able to find help, in a way that caused you to step away from, just that increased wealth. I mean, so many of us just want so badly, to wake up in that man's shoes, and he worked so damn hard to get there, and to have it all pay off, and to be in the position that he's in. I'll just say, obviously, uh, as a society, I think we really have to start giving mental health more attention, more, uh, I don't know, a higher belief system in it. Recognize it where maybe we haven't in the past, where we obviously haven't in the past, because if this man is so wealthy, if this man is a number one wide receiver in the NFL and can't find a program that helps him right here, right now, and allows him to continue on doing his job, then we have a problem as a society. And that's what I'll say about that.
Agreed, 100%. As I can't even add nothing to that. It's perfect. All right, we had a couple trades, Jason. It was a very, very bleak, like boring ass trade. Like 3 or 4 days up to the trade deadline. It hurt my feelings, to be honest.
We talked about it. We literally said last week, we're like, man, I hope that the trades are just so crazy that we can't even have a regular show. We just got to talk about trades. And no, no.
Not so fast. But I mean, I guess what the biggest one was Von Miller being traded after a decade of just great play at the in Denver at the Broncos, being traded to the Los Angeles Rams for, let me see here, a second and third round pick in next year's draft, or I guess this upcoming draft.
Yeah.
Man, that pass rush.
Man, it's so funny, dude. We talked about it last week. They're just not going to be beat. Like, I don't know if that just bought them a Super Bowl. I don't know. But I mean, you already showed me that you could beat Tom Brady, and now you're adding more pressure on Tom Brady. And I mean, I'm putting them everywhere. I'm taking, right here, right now, I'll say it. If this team stays healthy, this current Rams team, fuck it, Super Bowl.
Hey, I said it. I didn't feel good about my prediction, as like so many people were kind of down on the Rams, like, oh, it's a thin team, or whatever. I'll comb through the videos. It was our very first video we ever did together because my chair was sitting over there in this side of the room, or my table was, I should say. I said the Rams. I said the Rams versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs doesn't look like it's going
Yeah,
to happen, but
that's
it was based on that defense, Jason, and you covered it incredibly well last year in the playoffs when we were doing our kind of review and preview shows. But you were
yeah.
just talking about this LA defense, man. It's unstoppable, and you're bringing in I think an 8-time Pro Bowler now. I mean, that's just ridiculous. With the pressure they're going to be able to get, that's only going to help their coverage unit, and their coverage unit is already phenomenal as it is. So, like you said, if they can stay healthy, I love this Rams team. They have to be the odds-on favorite now, in my opinion,
Yeah.
to win the Super Bowl.
The only way you beat that team is you run the ball, and I think later on in the season what happened this week is gonna be a huge deal, because we've seen so far from the Ravens that they're gonna win games, and Lamar Jackson's gonna show up big time when he needs to. We know the Chiefs we're not thinking right here right now. Maybe they pick it up, maybe November's their month, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Um, I'll say this: the Chargers look great. The Titans could continue to do well and get there. Um, but I don't see a clear cut AFC team right now who can run the ball. Maybe outside of the Ravens, who could stop that team in February. I don't.
I mean, even an NFC. I'm trying to think of an NFC team
To
that could
knock them
really.
off, it'd be Dallas or
Down, I
Tampa
could
Bay.
Yeah, Dallas or Tampa Bay, but I just don't know if Tampa Bay is the one. I guess Dallas and Tampa Bay are the two teams I could see that could keep up with them offensively, um, and then just hope for maybe a turnover or something like that. Because I mean, this Rams team is going to keep up with anybody offensively too. So and
Yeah.
they have the best defense. And Trent is just LA defense, even scarier now. Yeah, you're right,
Yep.
man. Halloween was not over for them.
I really hope that this, just on a side note, I really hope we don't go back to the Super Bowl and get beat by the Rams again. That would just
Oh
be fuck.
God, dude.
And that would be 21 years
It
later,
would be
like,
21 years.
just like, yeah, you thought you was.
Man.
Sit back
Think about
down.
the storylines though. It's like let's say Derrick Henry gets back in like the conference championship game type stuff, and he's just a
Yeah,
triumphant return. That would be some hella storylines right there.
yeah,
Melvin Ingram traded to the from the Steelers to the Chiefs for a sixth rounder. That really doesn't move the needle for me too much. I mean, it helps Kansas City because they've been having trouble with Chris Jones, especially because he's been injured the majority of the season. They've been having trouble getting pressure, so maybe that'll help. But
it's
they
gonna
got to
help.
stop. What's that? I'm sorry, bro.
It'll help with pressures. He just never gets the actual numbers. I don't know what it is about him, man. Melvin Ingram is just he's a or Melvin. What was it again?
Melvin Ingram.
Yeah,
Ingram.
Melvin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to throw myself off with Mark Ingram, but
Mark
anyway,
Ingram. Yeah.
yeah, Melvin Ingram. Yeah, man, he never gets the actual numbers. It's always just pressures.
Pressures are valuable though too. I mean, it's incredibly valuable. But yeah, they got Kansas City got to stop turning the ball over. We already talked about that, so that's all I'll say about that trade. It helps it helps their pass rush, which is good. That's awesome. And then the last but not least, and the one that I, I'm going to try not to get too pissed off. How about that? Henry
Okay.
Ruggs involved in a fatal accident, not fatal to him, but and showed signs of impairment. He is being charged with a DUI, causing death. I think is the actual
Yeah.
title of the charge, or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Someone lost their life because this person decided to have too much to drink and then go driving.
Yep.
You're a millionaire, a first round pick, and you can't order. I'm going to drop one F bomb. You can't order a fucking Uber. Are you kidding me, man? And now your life has changed. You took someone's life off this earth. An entire family and multiple people are affected by this. So I'll just say I'm trying not to judge him too much because it is what it is. It's already happened, but it's fucking Vegas. Sorry, I've dropped two F bombs. It's freaking Vegas. There's Ubers, there's Lyfts. Get something. Come on,
Yeah.
man. Come on.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's just ignorant. I mean, especially you had your grandma with you. Like, what are you doing? Like, why wouldn't you want someone else to ride you around? Like, I don't know. It makes zero sense to me. Zero sense.
In a fantasy landscape, then, I mean, oh my God, his name is escaping my head. Brian Edwards. There we go.
Yeah,
Brian
Brian.
Edwards and Darren Waller, who's actually had a really up and down season, but I think this solidifies him as a top three tight end rest of way. And then Brian Edwards really sees a bump in my opinion, because Henry Ruggs is starting to look really good lately in the last 2 or 3
Yeah.
games.
Well, Renfro's going to look good too. He's going to get more and more. That's a trusty guy there. So,
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yep.
I never think about Hunter Renfro. He's like kind of, but he's always
he's
good for like
Amendola.
yeah. He's good for like 6 targets a game and like 60 yards. He's like 6 and 60. Like
Yeah.
So, anyways, I mean, condolences to the family. Personally, well, never mind. I'm not going to try and get too much on it, but I hope he goes to jail for a long time. Put it that way.
Yeah. I mean,
Sorry, dude.
He should.
Got to be smarter than that. All right, we've got a couple awesome segments coming up. Juggernaut of the week. Jason and I always do this. We'll just throw Cam's out there since he's not here. It's going to be Derrick Henry. Actually, it won't be because he's gone. So, yeah, and then we're going to get to this dynasty, basically dynasty redraft, whatever you want to call it. It's a dynasty rookie draft of 2022 and 2021 draft class players, and Jason and I are going to do our best to do a 3-round draft and get those. Essentially, we're pretty much ranking them, but in a more fun format. So, but without further ado, it's Jason. You can't see it, can you?
No, I can't see anything. What are you talking
I'm
about?
the juggernaut, bitch.
Ah, it's the juggernaut, bitch. All right.
I keep forgetting you're on your phone. You can't see this stuff very well.
Okay, now I can see it now.
Oh, I like this one. I like this one a lot from Tran here. Juggernaut of the week. Juggernaut of last week for sure.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman Jr. I
Mhm.
called it on our Sunday. I do a Sunday morning show, pre-show,
Yep.
um, with going for two, and we take start sit questions. We do kind of this stuff right here, and I called it out. I said Michael Pittman is going to have his first like legit career blow up game. He had something like 10 receptions, 80 some yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's nice when I hit, but I also told somebody not to play Michael Carter too. So that everything, the hand strikes and then gives a flower. Fuck. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jason, to your juggernaut of the week, who you got for us?
I got Austin Eckler. Oh my
Ooh.
God. How gross is this? They're playing at home against Philly.
Oh God.
Ugh.
Oh, he's gonna smash.
Yep. So, basically Philly's been, I think they've given the 9th most yards this year. They've given up the 9th most yards, so they're one of the bottom top 10 defenses. Jalen Hurts is not going to do anything to have any kind of game script affect Eckler. He will be a part of the offense every bit of the way from beginning to end, and probably get excess by the end. So, I mean, he's the number one projected running back for this week, and it's just easy. This one was cake.
Fire him up. Fire him
Yep.
up. So I got two. I'll do like a legit like who I think is going to be. You would be starting this player anyways, and it's but I'll do another one who's a little less started, but I think he's going to have a big game. Jonathan Taylor is playing the New York Jets. I just want to point something out to everyone. So I'm looking right now at fantasy points against, and the New York Jets for the running back position as a whole average 36.99 fantasy points against. The second closest one is the Philadelphia Eagles, Jason just talked about. So they go from 36.99 to 30.45. They give up 6.5 more points than the next team to fantasy running backs. Jonathan Taylor is fixing to have himself a game. So for your DFS cash games, I don't care how much he costs, pay up for him because he's going to crush.
Fire up
Now,
Hines, too.
oh yeah, Hines, let's go. Yeah, let's
Fire them
go.
all up if that's the case.
Mike White out here throwing for 400 yards. He might make it rough. You gotta throw to your to your receiving running backs. So my actual juggernaut of the week is Tua Tagovailoa, obviously quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. His finish in the last 3 weeks: quarterback 10, quarterback 1, and then quarterback 14. He's got a solid core of weapons. Devontae Parker came back with a vengeance. Had like 8 receptions. Like, let's go, young man. Freaking, I've always really liked Devontae Parker, so it's cool to see him get back. But Houston is 31st in points allowed, meaning they give up the second most points and the third most yards allowed in the NFL. Their defense does. They're 25th in fantasy points to the quarterback at 20.44. So 25th minus 32 minus 25th, they're 7th, I guess. They give up the 7th most points to quarterback. So I really like Tua this week, man. Fire him up. He's a juggernaut. He's a Samoan juggernaut, Jason. We talked about Mike White for a second. Tran says, I think White gets pressured a ton this week. Indy's defense has been rough. Yeah. Indy can get pressure with their 4. Like we saw that against the Titans, especially early in the game. Like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. You haven't noticed Tannehill didn't turn the ball over at all, like in 3 years, and then they came through with their pressure, and you saw what happened to him. Those 2 picks, man, that was really uncharacteristic. So I will tell you right now, like, watch the hell out.
Yeah, I picked the Indy in our Pricks Pick segment, which I think I actually have that somewhere around here. I can pull it up, but like how we did, We all did terrible, just FYI.
Yeah,
Nobody had a record over 500. It was a weird week for games, anyways.
right.
So, but all right, man. Those are our juggernauts of the week. We don't have any prop picks for you. We're going to get back to the real good segments here next week. This is Jason and I's first time in, oh my God, dude, a long time doing this, just me and him. So we're just experimenting with some stuff at this point. But I think we're going to go ahead and get to our Dynasty rookie draft. You ready, Jason?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I'm going to share this screen real quick. And so once again, what we're going to do here, I'll actually explain it once I pull the screen up. It might make it a little bit easier. All right. Can everybody see that? Can we see? Let me see if I can make that a little bit better. You like that better, Jason? How do you like it?
Yeah, I can see that better.
This one right here?
Yeah, unless you want to link me on the Sleeper app. If you do that, I can jump in real quick.
We can try that real quick. So while I'm doing that, Jason, go ahead and explain just kind of what we're looking at here.
So these are
for anybody who just popped back in.
Yeah, so this is the last two drafts worth of players, and Erik and I are going to have us a dynasty style draft with 2020 and 2021's rookies. So basically, we're just going to take the guys over the last 2 years and see where they stand with us today after all the injuries, after all the ups and downs, after just everything crazy that's happened with COVID. It's been just a shocker of the last two seasons. So we are going to now take a better evaluation of guys that we tried to look at back before the virus.
The virus. Cyrus the virus. I just sent you that invite, Jason. So I'm thinking we're not going to actually do I'm not going to hit start draft. I'll go in and kind of manually add players, but this will be nice for you to even be in and see it though, because that way you can see the queue. So what we're going to do first off, I think we're just going to go ahead and Jason, I think we'll just decide these together. I like the idea of that, and if we disagree, we disagree. So the 101 from 2020 and 2021's class here. I mean, everybody. I would say that I'm thinking Jonathan Taylor is kind of number one in my mind. We got Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Swift, Jamar Chase has to be up there as well. Is there somebody that pops out for you just off the bat where you're like, he would be who I would take?
It would be JT for me.
JT? Okay, so we're in agreement there.
So this draft that I've got here, it's showing me everybody: CMC, Cook, Henry, Kamara.
Yeah, I couldn't get him. I couldn't get it to take away everybody. But if you take a look in the Q section, that's what we're looking at there. So after Jonathan Taylor, to me, I have two. Let me see. Yeah, I've got three running backs that are kind of in a tier ahead of everybody else, except for maybe two wide receivers. Well, I would say there's one running back that I like more than anybody else on this list, and that's going to be DeAndre Swift. We've seen him this season in particular, lose his mind and just be incredible for fantasy. He's a top 4 fantasy running back at this point in time. So what do you think about DeAndre Swift, or would you be thinking about anybody else in this position, maybe going wide receiver, tight end, something like that?
I think just, this is for me based on pure potential, especially because we said this was a dynasty draft.
Yep.
I want Najee Harris right here.
Okay. Even I believe DeAndre Swift is younger than Najee Harris.
Is he?
Let me take a look here real quick. We'll all look at this together, guys. So Najee Harris right here is 23.
Okay.
I believe DeAndre Swift is either 22 or 23. He is 22 years old. Now, do you like Najee Harris a little more just from the body frame, the offense, maybe the organization that he's with?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I mean, honestly,
I'm not a Dan Campbell guy.
I know that. Honestly, it was between DeAndre Swift and Najee Harris. Those are the other two running backs that were in that same tier for me. So if you want to go Najee here, let me ask you this. Would you think about Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb yet?
Jamar is definitely going to be top 5 guy.
Okay. So let's go Najee Harris next. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing. And just so everybody knows, this is not a super flex draft. This is just a regular one quarterback draft. No crazy tight end premium or anything like that. Jesus, what am I doing with my life? Here we go. Najee, not Maji. Najee. It's got to be a better way to do this.
Yeah.
All right, Najee
I
Harris.
can't see your cue, so I'm still having to look at the screen.
Oh, got you, man.
It's okay, but hey, so what do we say? We say DeAndre Swift right here. Or we
So
say
I would
Chase?
take DeAndre Swift right here. I mean,
Let's do-
honestly, I would take him above Najee Harris, but let's go DeAndre Swift, and then I think we're going to have a conversation about wide receivers.
I think you take Jamar right here.
Wow.
Why did Sleeper just yell at me? I guess I must have reached on DeAndre Swift apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think I'm taking Jamar Chase here. He's my number one. Oh, he might legit be my number one like dynasty wide receiver. As much as I really love CD Lamb, I love Justin Jefferson. I love D Hop, Tyreek Hill, like all these guys. What he's done through these 8 weeks is unparalleled. So,
Right.
so we're thinking let's go Jamar Chase right here. And plus the fact that he has his college quarterback for the I don't know probably his whole career. We'll say
Wow.
that's phenomenal as well.
I love that. All right.
Did you hear the thing again?
Yeah, it's so funny.
Wow. Shut up. So for me at this point, this is where I'm starting to look at a guy like Kyle Pitts. I don't know that I would go Kyle Pitts yet with CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson still on the board. Kyle Pitts is a wide receiver playing tight end. Like,
yeah, there's got to be more 2020 backs though. Let's see here.
well, if you think about it, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, both got especially. Well, Cam Akers has a potentially career-ending, or not ending, but career-killing injury, if you will.
Man, that's so interesting.
Oh,
really thought. Yeah, I really thought there was more backs. It's kind of blowing my mind.
I mean, Clyde is disappointed. I mean, you could think about Antonio Gibson. James Robinson has obviously been great. I just worry about his draft capital coming back to bite him in the butt.
Antonio Gibson.
So if it's me, Jason, I'm making the choice between Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. I think you got to take one of those wide receivers there. I think CeeDee Lamb is more talented. I like his situation at quarterback and the offense a lot more for the next 3 years or so. So I would lean CeeDee Lamb, even though he's been outproduced by Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, we can do CD, and then I think you follow it up immediately with Justin Jefferson.
So whoever's team 6 is getting they're just getting like the best of both worlds. Like, oh, this is fun. I don't care.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb. Good with that. Oh, not that. Oops. Then we follow up immediately with Justin Jefferson. I'm super happy with that. All right. So now this is where it gets really interesting to me, Jason.
Okay.
We start to look at some of these 2021 backs that were highly regarded, like a Javonte Williams type. So I really start thinking about him. He's 21 years old. I would think Antonio Gibson, Javonte Williams, Kyle Pitts is in this mix for me right now as well.
Let's talk about a guy that PFF had graded at the top of their draft boards 2 years in a row. Let's talk about Travis Etienne. He's out this season, but 2 seasons in a row, I watched PFF, just bleed emotion for this guy. And I watched, them use some very, intense statistics to back up what they were talking about. And, I think that we often forget about him because his season 1 got blown so quick. But he's definitely definitely someone that I would look at right around here,
Mhm.
just knowing that, he'll be back next year and we'll get to start a whole career with the guy. But
He's got incredible pass catching ability too. That's what everyone was so excited about. Him coming out of college, he caught something like 65 passes or so in his final year at Clemson.
yep,
So I mean, for me, it's the injury pushes him down a little bit. But it was just correct me if I'm wrong. It's just an ACL, right? It wasn't an
right,
Achilles or anything like that.
right,
So he'll be back, and it happened in the off season. So it's not like he's going to, be incredibly not no pun intended like hamstrung by that. But I
right.
think for me, I liked Javonte Williams more than him, anyways,
Okay.
coming into the draft. Um, I would definitely look at Antonio Gibson, who's been incredibly disappointing so far this year. I agree with that. I do. I will say that, but who is still a very talented player. Just don't really like the organization too much, as we can both agree on that.
Right, right, right.
And then I would look at Kyle Pitts here as well. Is there anybody? I know you said Travis Etienne. Anybody to add besides those three guys I just said?
No.
So who do you think we go with here? Kyle Pitts, Javonte Williams, Antonio Gibson, or I mean, I'll entertain the idea of taking Travis Etienne here if you're really like, you know, I just worry about James Robinson being there. He's freaking showed out this year again, so it's like, and Urban Meyer's ass probably ain't gonna be there.
No, he won't. He won't. So, yeah, with that being said, we know that Gibson, he's not going anywhere for several years. Washington just doesn't have.
Yeah.
They should be so happy. Javonte's got real. He's got Melvin Gordon's he's not old yet. Like
No, you're right.
he could pull. This could be like when Henry had to fend off. Um, oh,
DeMarco Murray.
Murray, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think we say Pitts and Gibson. I think we say Pitts and then Gibson.
Gibson. Okay. I'm all right with that. Mr. Pitt, dude, I love Pitts too because, I mean, unfortunately, as unfortunate as the deal about Calvin Ridley is,
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts is now the number one on that team,
Right.
and that is she. I don't want to say sheesh because I'm not a freaking hipster.
Wow.
I'm 34 years old. I can't be saying sheesh like that. Uh, okay, so at this point, we can start looking at quarterback if you'd like. I don't really. There's besides Joe Burrow. I'm trying to think. Maybe a Trey Lance, just based on because of how good of a runner he is. But in this range here, the 9 to 12, I don't think I'm not too enamored with that. Do you start thinking about a J.K. Dobbins potentially?
Yeah, I think we take. I think we take J.K. here.
Because J.K. Dobbins, man, when he gets back next year, I mean, that's he's a hell of a good player.
I agree.
We're going to get screamed at by a sleeper here.
Wow.
Shut up. Oh, dude, that's so funny. All right, it's muted now. It's getting on my nerves. All right, so when do we start? When do you start thinking about like a Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Or a T. I know you're a huge T. Higgins
Yeah,
fan.
if you don't give me T. Higgins right here,
So you would take. I just want to make sure. We'll look at other wide receivers real quick. So T. Higgins or Chase Claypool, or T.
T. Higgins.
Okay, how about this is a good one? I think T. Higgins or Jerry Jeudy.
T. Higgins.
You like Higgins more?
Man, he's been so consistent.
I do. I love me some T. Higgins as well. I'm just making sure. Devontae Smith, T. Higgins over him,
Yes.
over Jalen Waddle,
Yes.
over Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You know
I'm
what I
good
like
with that.
about T. Higgins? What I like about T. Higgins is Jamar Chase is a problem, and every defense is terrified and worried about him. And when you have to put some of your best guys on Jamar Chase, and you have to put some of your lower tier guys on the 6'5" individual, things don't usually go very well for you. And he
Yeah.
is just in a perfect position to eat. So, and Burrow doesn't miss him. So, I mean, Joe Burrow was with him. Those guys were on it day one.
They
You
were.
can go back and look at week one. T. Higgins was it. I'm like, dude, no. I feel like he hasn't had a bad game. Knock on wood. I have him in everything. So Erik wasn't lying when he said it was my boy. I have him in
Oh, no, I
every.
know.
I literally have like 1,000% shares of T. Higgins. So yeah, I'm just telling you, man. When you see consistency, you keep with it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that call. And you know what? I think that's a controversial pick as well. I don't think a lot of people will go T. Higgins over Michael Pittman or quite a Javonte Williams or anything like that. But I like it because I think he's an incredibly talented player, and yeah, and it can make people argue with us on Twitter too, Jason, which
Well,
only
and the biggest
will
thing for
give
me
us
is like,
views, so that's good.
yeah. Well, the biggest thing, we always say you want them to, you want your players to put 10 points up again. That should be their floor is 10 points. I can tell you, we can look back on it. I don't even need to, but I feel confident enough to say, if you go back over T. Higgins' short, career thus far, he's going to average right at 10 points a game.
Well, but I'm gonna write that down in the show doc
Yeah,
to remember, and then
I just
let's
don't.
make a
I've never
pick
been.
real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna lobby real hard for Javonte Williams here. No
Okay.
matter, I understand that Melvin Gordon is, he's not old, like you said, he's really not. However, could we see? I'm not going to say that Javonte Williams is Derrick Henry. Don't hear what I'm not saying, but he breaks tackles. He is incredibly hard to tackle. He's elusive as hell too. So I am really. I think we should take Javonte Williams here. I think at 11th overall. Oh, I would be doing a happy dance. You good with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And then I'll have.
I hope that he has because I felt pretty good about it.
No, it's not to make fun of you if he hasn't. It's just genuinely curious to me.
All right, this is where I would look at taking either CEH or maybe and see. We talked about this a little bit earlier. What's the real stance on Cam Akers? What's the real stance on Cam Akers? Because I happen to believe in medicine, and I happen to believe that Marlon Mack being back playing professional football and having the balls to request a trade on everything that's going on with him, and Indianapolis holding on to him, says that the guy still has the ability to play. So, I mean, Cam Akers was such a talent. If medicine's good enough now to really make that repair, don't you kind of have to look at him right here?
Agreed, 100%. I mean, if we're going just talent wise, he's probably who I take at like 7.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. So to get him so late, and I mean, I'm kind of tipping my hand for all of our dynasty folks that watch us in our leagues, but no, I fully believe that Cam Akers is going to be. Is he going to be 100% of himself before that injury? No, but playing in a Rams offense that is just has made Darrell Williams look like Darrell Henderson, I should say, look like a world beater. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am more than happy to go with Cam Akers here. Cameron Akers, and we got to have a Cam in the show somewhere,
Yeah, we just found him.
Here we go. So we've been pretty. So I'll recap the first round here real quick. Been pretty running back heavy. Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. So we had a trio of like just the next generation of awesome wide receivers in the NFL. Kyle Pitts at 7, Antonio Gibson, J.K. Dobbins, T. Higgins, surprising at number 10, Javonte Williams, and Cam Akers to round out the first round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many? 7. 7 running backs in the first round. I think that's kind of par for the course.
That's fair.
Or should I say 6? No, 7. Yeah, 7.
7.
Oh yeah, dude. I was tripping. I thought we only had 10 teams in here. I'm like, my math is messed up. We'll try and get through. We'll try and get through 3 rounds. We might not be able to. We might only be able to get through another one. That's all right. All right. So, what do you do? I keep seeing Brandon Ayuk on here, Jason.
Uh-uh.
What can you do with Brandon Ayuk at this point?
I'm not ready for him yet.
No, definitely. I don't think we should draft him by any means. But like, what do you do as a manager of Brandon Ayuk in Dynasty?
Oh, oh man. I
Is
don't
this a
know.
Dante? Dude, is this a Dante Pettis situation? Like,
It is. It is. I would just not expect much from him. I treat this like Robbie Anderson. It's just not going to happen, man. Sorry that you got excited. It's just not going to happen.
that's rough.
Yep.
So let's just go ahead and take Mr. Ayuk and just going to move him down quite a bit. So what are you thinking here, Jason? We still have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, James Robinson. You still got Travis Etienne, Trey Sermon. We got Elijah Mitchell, Jason. Elijah Mitchell's still there. Is he going to continue to be? That's just the problem with San Francisco players in general. You never know what the whims of Kyle Shanahan are going to be from week to week.
Right. You know what? I really think we have to take ETN here. I mean, like I said, this is a guy who had CeeDee Lamb like stats like at his position. This is a guy that was grading out of everything. We have to respect the fact that PFF's grading system is, in my opinion, pretty awesome. It's pretty great.
Agreed.
It really hasn't failed me anytime that I've used it. I don't know. I respect it too much to not go with him right here.
I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm okay with that because he's good enough. He's a first round pick for a team. Unfortunately, ownership and GMs and everything, they really value that draft capital over talent sometimes, because I think James Robinson is incredibly talented.
Oh yeah.
But for me right here, I think at pick 14 or so, I'm between a few wide receivers. So I'm between Chase Claypool, Jerry Jeudy, probably not Devontae Smith, Michael Pittman. I am definitely thinking about Michael Pittman here. So that's what I'll say. I'll say Michael Pittman, Jerry Jeudy, and Chase Claypool. Clace Chapel, excuse me. I wasn't saying his proper pronunciation there.
Yeah, I don't get
so
it,
if it's just up to me, I'll make my case for Michael Pittman Jr.
Okay.
He already is the alpha wide receiver on that team.
Okay.
Jerry Jeudy has Cortland Sutton to contend with. Clace Chapel has going to have Juju when he gets back next year. Deontay Johnson is the dude there, and Najee Harris is getting he got 19 targets one game. So I like the number one potential for Michael Pittman as far as just being an alpha possession, and even a dude who can get downfield and catch some pretty high average depth of target passes as well. So I'm throwing Michael Pittman in as my choice there. What do you think?
And when Wentz has played, he's made me believe in him. So I feel like you're right.
Okay. Excellent. Michael Pittman. I hope that's not recency bias, but honestly, I really like Michael Pittman coming out of college too. I ended up drafting him and Ayuk in our first rookie draft, Jason, that we had with Dungeons and Drag Routes. Oh, Jason's gone. It's just me. You're welcome, America. All right, so since he'll probably pop back in here in a second. He looked like his connection got dropped. So we're looking at our 15th pick here in the draft. I'm probably still looking at either Chase Claypool or Jerry Jeudy here. Devontae Smith kind of is in that mix for me as well, but I just don't trust. I don't trust that Eagles offense. I think they're probably going to they're probably going to have a rookie quarterback next season, would be my guess, because they have 3 picks in round 1. So if they don't, I don't know who's an actual viable quarterback. I haven't heard much news from college, but You would think they would try and move up and get one. But shoot, Jason still ain't back. So we'll just go ahead. I'm going to go ahead, who I think, obviously, Chase Claypool is an incredible athlete, just ridiculous. But I have no idea what's happening in Pittsburgh post 2021. Ben should be gone. I don't know if that bodes well or not well for Chase Claypool. So it's Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater in Denver. So I guess it's not much better. But Jerry Jeudy is already like top 10 route runner in the NFL, and it's his second season. He's missed a lot of time this year. So I'm going to go ahead and go with him. He's still a very, very, very young wide receiver at 22 years old, as y'all can see there. So we're going to go Jerry Jeudy right here. I think at this point, shoot, we probably should have looked at it beforehand. But Justin Herbert right here. I mean, that guy has been incredible. We can look at his game log. I mean, last 2 games, not super great, but 3 games in there, over 30 points, almost 43 points right there. He's got Philly. Well, we're not really looking at this season, but he's a young guy. I really like how he's not afraid to air the ball out. He's got great weapons around him. So I am more than comfortable going Justin Herbert right here. Khalil Herbert, too. How about that? Jason did say he's on his way back. But we're nearing our 1 hour limit here. If anybody has any questions and stuff, there's 2 people watching right now, Tran and somebody else, I'm sure. If anybody's got any questions or whatever, feel free, or even comments. If you like, this dude's a fucking idiot, you can throw that in there too. I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm probably just going to look at Clyde Edwards-Helaire because he is a starting running back on what's supposed to be a really explosive team. I don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is actually very good. I think he is middle of the road, okay at running back. But he's got to be better than Darrell Williams, doesn't he? Doesn't he? Maybe. Maybe not. But there he is. He's back. Back again. Jason's back.
Had to change my device. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good, bro. So while you were gone, so we obviously did Michael Pittman. I went ahead and took Jerry Jeudy, and then I think we messed up. We might have goofed a little bit, but Justin Herbert still being there at the 204. Oh, he can't hear me.
You said Justin Herbert's there?
Yeah, I said after Pittman, obviously I took Jerry Jeudy, and I was like, man, we might have goofed. I might have taken Justin Herbert there a little earlier, but it's the whole nature of quarterback. You know, it's so easy to find a starter in Dynasty, but I like how Justin Herbert, how young he is. I like the weapons around him. Brandon Staley has shown himself to already be a really good head coach. Hopefully that continues. And so I like the stability around Justin Herbert, and his like, he's not scared to throw it down the field and take risks, which I like.
Yeah, I don't think it's debatable. He's definitely number one.
Yeah. And so what I was going to say with this one, Jason, I was going to go ahead and just take Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't think he's very good, but he's in a great situation. So
correct.
For me, it would be between him and Chase Claypool. But
right. Oh, we still have Claypool on the board?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you rather have Claypool over CEH? Because now that I think about it, I think I kind of would. I think Claypool's a special player. I don't think CEH is a special player.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is going to pull a quarterback out of their ass somehow.
Some way.
Yeah, I don't see it being a draft necessarily. I don't see it being someone in the draft necessarily as much as they might, get a drifting guy,
Like a Cooper Rush.
What if Mike White just goes to Pittsburgh?
Oh, Jesus, dude. It's going to be like a Matt Flynn situation all over again.
Yeah.
They're going to draft somebody in the 3rd round, and it's going to end up being like, franchise quarterback Russell Wilson.
Right.
Or should we issue a formal apology to Jay, by the way, for all of us took the Jaguars over the Seahawks?
Yeah, I think we owe him one.
Sorry, Jay. We were wrong.
Yeah, we were very wrong.
It doesn't happen
Urban
often.
Meyer sucks.
Urban Meyer is due.
Mhm.
All right, let's just get through the second round here, Jason. We got about 6 more picks left. I think we'll call it good after that.
All right.
So we established no Brandon Ayuk. He can get out of our lives.
No, fuck that guy.
So I mean, Devontae Smith looks pretty attractive right here.
Oh
He
yeah.
he. I mean, dude, he's actually. I had no faith in him whatsoever. He's looked okay. He still is
Them-
way too small.
Yeah, them little legs.
Yeah, but he's looked okay. So I'll throw him out there for consideration. I really like Jalen Waddle. I really like Jalen Waddle. What he's been able to do, he's had some big games, and you can see why he's been compared to Tyreek Hill a little bit. He's got that almost a running back type body, and he's so
Right.
freaking shifty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not really thinking about any other quarterback here. I don't think.
It would have to be Burrow, right?
Yeah, I would think Burrow or Lance, just because Lance is his legs are so good. What about Chuba Hubbard?
Oh, I love Chuba.
It-
Chuba might have a serious job now. I don't.
That's what I was going to ask. As a CMC manager, it's
I
been
think
painful. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is he? But you said it. You said it in one of our group chats the other day. You think CMC will be back, but what
Oh,
about
yeah.
for the future? Do you think this is Chuba's team? Because what?
I don't necessarily think it's Chuba's team, but I think that he's definitely got a role now.
Okay.
And it's like we talked about that two or three episodes ago when he went down. That it was there was a big time potential for Chuba Hubbard to steal permanent carries from CMC.
Yeah.
I think it's happened.
We could look at a Michael Carter here, and it's very much recency bias, but he was the number one running back on the week in week 8. Was that a sign of things to come moving forward, or is this just it's Mike White and nobody knew what the hell was going on and nobody had any tape on anybody?
Yeah, I think that's really what it really was.
That's what I lean towards as well. So I think Michael Carter belongs in the top 2 rounds, but for me, I'm thinking I'm gonna narrow it down to Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle. I personally like Jalen Waddle a little more.
Yeah, you got to take Waddle. You got to go with the QB.
Okay. So are you good with we're going to take Smith right afterwards, or?
Yes.
That's a pretty, pretty even split for me, but you're right. I like the QB a lot more.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Which is weird.
He replaced him at Alabama.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got 4 more picks here. I tell you what. Oh my God, I forgot somebody, Jason.
Who did we forget?
I effed this up real bad, I think.
I've been thinking that somebody's missing.
Pretty sure it's this man right here. No, okay, perfect. He was taken in 2019. Oh Lord, I thought I forgot T.J. Hawkinson.
No, he's been around.
I need to get Noah Fant out of here too. Then why did I think Noah Fant was from 2020?
Yeah, definitely not.
So there's really nobody else as far as tight ends go.
Not that I can think of.
Tight
I mean,
end from-
Fryermuth might be nasty next year.
Yeah, I still think he's probably more of a maybe. Let's take a look here. I still think James Robinson has quite a bit of value. I would lean towards taking him right here.
Yeah, that's important.
Or Darnell Mooney is actually really, really good too. He looks like he might be Justin Fields' favorite target.
He is, but I got to go with the running back first. So I think I think you answered
go ahead,
both.
James Robinson.
Yeah, and then I'm all for Mooney.
Dude, I love Darnell Mooney. I tried to get him in every dynasty league. Tried to give him. We were talking about our friend Jay earlier. Tried to give him I can't remember if it was a high second. I think it was like a middle second round pick for him. He said nope.
I got him.
Hurt my feelings. What? Mooney. Oh, you did get him in the. What was that trade?
I gave him JT, and I got Mooney, Zach Moss, and 3 second-round picks.
Got you. You got to throw
That's
that
a
one out there for
lot.
consideration. Yeah.
You got a what? What'd you say? Eric, you froze. Hello. Everything froze.
There he is.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I think it might actually be my connection. It looks like it's not
Okay.
very good right now. So we got two more picks, Jason. Chuba Hubbard is in my mind for one of them potentially.
Mhm.
I want to like Laviska Shenault, but I learned a hard lesson with Percy Harvin and some other players. You can't
Mhm.
trust these gadget guys to actually be consistent fantasy contributors. So I'm going to say no to that one. What about AJ Dillon?
He's got, I mean, man, as soon as they signed Aaron Jones, that really sealed him up, didn't
It
it?
did. So I mean,
Yeah.
we could think about another quarterback. I mean, I would not say no to Joe Burrow here. I think he's got a long, very good career ahead of him.
Yeah, I think we do Chuba first, though, because it's quite obvious that Chuba Hubbard can ball. So
Yeah.
things are going to
Okay.
happen for him.
Good with that. And honestly, man, I don't want to like bring any bad juju, but the injuries for CMC have just been piling up, piling up, piling up over the past couple of years. He's not a huge guy, and he got used a lot for
Right.
because he was a 2017 guy, so he
Yeah.
got used a lot 2018 and 2019, like a ton. Um, and maybe he's just falling apart a little bit. I hope knock on wood, he gets back, but that's a hell of a good insurance policy because he's looked better than average, put it that way, for a rookie running back who didn't realize, oh shit, I'm gonna be the starter,
Right. Right. I have
But
nothing but faith in him.
hell yeah, man. I'll go ahead and say what's going to save this mock draft automatically. Maybe we can get a continuation next week or at some point to finish this sucker off. But I'm super happy with that. Any surprise picks? Anybody you think we left out? I should say, or anybody too high, too low?
Not to me. I felt pretty good about the whole flow of it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm not mad at that at all. If yeah, this was a fun little exercise. I guess I'm a little surprised that T Higgins went as high, but now I mean, really, the only thing I would argue is I think I would have Michael Pittman above T Higgins just because of the other reasons I gave for Jerry Jeudy and for Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
But meh. But I'm happy with it, dude.
Same.
All
We
right.
killed it.
Hell yeah. I mean, we're the best dynasty managers you've ever seen. But anyways,
We are.
let me get this shit out of here. There we go. So, anyways, for me, for Jason, Jason, let me ask you this first before I go on a conclusion thing like our our old host used to do. He would go on the conclusion and say, y'all got anything to say?" I'd be like, "Yeah, actually, I do." Got any news, any notes, anything to say, any kneel downs, anything you feeling strong about?
I just hope we get back to the picks next week. Definitely something that I enjoy doing on a weekly basis. So let's get back to that. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, we will for sure, man. And we'll still do Jason and I and Cam. We'll all still do our picks. We'll just do them via our group message or something, and we'll recap that next week for sure. But I've
So
got nothing. Just be good to each other out there. Don't drive drunk. Bunch of
don't.
fucking idiots. Sorry,
Yeah,
that was 3 F words this whole show.
I think I
Not
did
bad.
too. I
Okay,
think I
not
did
bad.
too.
5 combined. That's like the first 3 minutes of Cam being on here.
That's 1% of what Cameron gives you.
Exactly. It's a good, clean family show now. But anyways, man, be good. Everybody out there watching, ask us questions. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week, Tuesday. Actually, it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe, because we have a little time change. But we'll figure that out and we'll send it out to everybody on the socials. But follow Jason at Big Chill Squad on Twitter. Follow me at Fantasy Barbecue on Twitter. I'm number 5 in the Scott Fishbowl 11 right now. It's not too shabby. So if you want to know some shit about fantasy football, Jason and I can help you out. We're okay at it. But no, we really enjoy in doing this stuff for you. Sorry I'm talking so much. I'm the host. I'm trying to figure out a good organic way to end this podcast. I'm just going to do it like this. Y'all be good. Tran, put a finger in.